Alright, hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm very excited to bring you Subnautica on the Xbox One, fully released. This just came out the day I'm recording this, and I've been playing this in game preview for a long time now, and I absolutely love it. This is an amazing game, and this is right here. This save file is all I've got to play on the new update, but you can see I have a lot of other big save files. I've played the crap out of this game. There's even ones I've deleted in here because I just was kind of done with them. But so we're going to be starting a new game today. We're going to be doing a full Let's Play to completion of the story, I should say. Not full completion, finding every single blueprint, blah, blah, blah. But completion of the story, and we're going to do it all in survival mode. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, important note, I'm going to leave this intro loading in the video because I want you guys to be able to compare it to what it was before. If you're playing this on a console, or if you have played this on console during game preview, you know what this was like. It took like at least 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 to load. It's much faster now. It's about half the time, roughly. So I am going to leave this on. If you want to skip this part, feel free to skip ahead by, like a minute and a half or a minute or so, and we'll be in the game. So, yeah. As we're winding down to the end of this loading here, I know it's getting close. I should mention that I have covered Subnautica exactly once before on this channel. I did a live stream of it for about 4-ish hours, and my goal was basically to make a Cyclops before the sunbeam arrived. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to say more than that because I don't want to spoil anything. Let's hit the button to continue. And if you want to see, for reference, what the game used to run like compared to what it runs like now, that is a great way to get a comparison.
3, 2, 1.
And looks like we are jumping in a life pod. There's our ship that we're escaping from. Oh boy. It's exploding. The particle effects are much improved from the previous version. I was literally playing this last night before it released, and then as I was playing it, it said that it was ready to update. I was like, yes! But it was late at night and I had to get up and go to college, so I didn't get to record it last night. Oh, fire! Fire! Get the fire extinguisher! Let me out! 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 Open! Thank you. That's fire. That's fire. Grab the fire extinguisher. Get it! Get it! Put out the fire. Okay. Alright. Disaster averted for now. Minus the disaster of our ship exploding. A little late to avert that disaster. Here's our PDA. This is going to be something we use for like the entire game.
Minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the databank for detailed survival advice. Good luck.
Alright, so this is our PDA. We have our inventory, we have blueprints that we can make. We have a beacon manager, so there will be different beacons popping up here. Right now we only have the life pod. We can take screenshots in-game whenever we want, and we have, this is a very useful feature. If you ever get lost in the story, the PDA keeps track of every single audio log that plays, and you can play those back whenever you want. And then there's all kinds of data in here, like so. And I will not be reading all of these because there's a ton of them, and I know how to play the game. I've played this a lot. So, let's get out of our pod and see what we got here. Ooh, ship has seen better days. We got a little bit of water around us. Yep, just a little bit of water, no big deal. Ship
Aurora
is...
suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Ship is not looking good. I'll say that much. Okay, well, I guess we'll hop into the water then. See what we got. Alright. Oh, break limestone. Okay, I'm going to need to do that frequently.
Is an essential component
Aha.
of all power
So.
development. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
We've got some metal salvage around. We're going to be needing that. And let me try and figure out where exactly... Okay, I know where I am. I know where I am in relation to the spawn area. So when you start up a new game, your life pod will kind of be around this area, but it doesn't always land in the same spot. So, but now I have my bearings and I know where I am. So we are good to go. You're gonna want to start by just gathering stuff, basically. So you can catch fish, like this boomerang here. They do tend to dart away from you for a second, and then they get tired. And yeah, so if you're wondering how this works on a controller, if you're not familiar with the Xbox One version of the game, the A button is one button to interact with things, like so. But of course, you have to take your thumb off of the right stick, which is your looking stick, to do that. So they predicted this. And you can also use left trigger for most applications where you would instead press A. So I can get up to this boomerang here. Oop, oop, oop. I'm not good at catching fish. But there you go. And I can tap left trigger so I don't have to stop looking around to catch fish. So different fish are good for different values worth of food. So you can come up to your fabricator. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. A lot of things to craft. We're going to be using most of the stuff in here sooner or later. But so the bladder fish can be used to make water like this. So I recommend you don't ever bother cooking your bladder fish. And then your pretty much any other type of fish you might as well just cook or cure. We'll get to cured fish later. Now this first episode I'm going to make it about an hour long because it's like the first episode. Big deal. Huzzah. I'm really excited. And so we'll have a long episode today, and then every episode following will be around about 30 minutes. So, yeah, that's the plan. And so I've already gotten a couple of scrap metal. Also, I kind of want to see how far I can get in a relatively short amount of time. So what we're going to do is actually build... Let's get this titanium refined here. So, it's in resources, basic materials. You can turn metal salvage into 4 titanium, like so. And there we go. So we got some metal. Now if we go down to personal and equipment, we can make an oxygen tank, which is very helpful. And there's a number of things I want to go and get, like, soon, or first. So, oh, let me eat the boomerangs here before they go bad. Food does spoil, and it will get to a point where it's not only not as nutritious, but it'll actually start getting negative values. So if you eat like really old rotten fish that you forgot you had, it will actually reduce your food in your water, and it might hurt you. I honestly don't know because I haven't tried to eat rotten fish in this game, so it might actually like injure you. So yeah, that is something to watch out for. Now, one of the first things we're going to need is cave sulfur. Cave sulfur comes from these little pods here, but there's a trick. The pods hold these little fish that are called crash fish, and they basically run at you, swim at you rather, and explode. Now thankfully, they don't turn so well, but so that's how you dodge them. Their nests have cave sulfur, like this. So that should be enough cave sulfur that for our purposes for a long time. That should sustain us for a while. What else? Well, we're gonna want more metal salvage. We're always gonna need more metal salvage. There will be periods of time during the Let's Play where I will just like do a whole bunch of grinding in between episodes to get stuff and materials and things, so that you guys don't have to sit here and be bored through that, because it can just be a lot of gathering materials like most survival games, but this one is story driven, which is nice. And what's also nice that I love about this is the story is never... how do I put this? There's never a list of objectives for you to complete, but the game does kind of push you in the right direction. And again, if you ever get lost, you have your PEA to tell you exactly what happened last time. So, that is pretty useful. I've got 4 seed clusters. That's pretty good. Let me grab... Wow, Stalker! So Stalkers are these blue and white guys. They are aggressive. Something that will be important about them later is that they like to chew on metal. Namely metal salvage, like that. That will be important later, but for now, just know that they will bite you, and you should avoid them. Speaking of being bitten, and avoiding being bitten, if you are bitten, and you fail to avoid the Stalker or anything else that wants to hurt you, like the Crash Fish, there is a medical kit fabricator in your life pod that will periodically make medkits for you. So that is nice, and in fact I will grab one now, so I have one on hand, and it will start making another one very slowly, as you can see. So that is good. What kinds of equipment we got? Oh, we can make the high capacity oxygen tank now, but not quite yet because we don't have all the stuff for it. We're going to make a lubricant real quick because we're going to need it later. And then we're going to make a bunch of silicone rubber. So for each creepvine seed cluster I can make 2 silicone rubber, and for each creepvine seed cluster I could also make, well, I could choose to make a lubricant instead of silicone rubber. And the lube will be important later, but right now we should probably focus on the silicone rubber. It'll be more useful, namely in giving ourselves a survival knife. And because we have the cave sulfur,
weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
I'll try not to talk over those, but it's such a habit to ignore them that I may end up talking over some of them. With the silicone rubber, the cave sulfur, and the titanium, we can make a repair tool. And as you may notice, it says use repair tool on the damaged secondary systems, like so. And there we go.
Secondary systems online, running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to data bank.
There we go. And we can fix our radio as well. Oh, it looks like we have a message.
This is Aurora. Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment, using locally available materials. For your safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
So, the next thing we're going to want, as soon as you can get it, is a scanner. Which, as you may have noticed there, we need a bit of titanium and a battery. Now, how do you make a battery? Well, you're going to need to go to the electronics section. There it is. You need 1 copper ore and 2 acid mushrooms, which you just saw me go out and grab right there. So there's a battery. And then we can go back down to tools and grab a scanner. Also, crafting the battery allows us to make power cells.
Blueprints from salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
So power cells are going to be used for bigger vehicles that we're going to have later. And you just need 2 batteries and some silicone rubber, and that's a piece of cake. So now that we have... Do I have more boomerangs? Oh, I have more boomerangs that I didn't cook up. Well, let's cook up the boomerangs then, I guess. Might as well. I'm a little hungry. So something I'll end up doing throughout the Let's Play here is mashing the A button to try and craft more things. In the previous version, say I had a whole bunch of these, I could just mash the A button and like nothing would happen. It would just stay in the menu, and then as soon as the one was done, it would allow me to just immediately press A and hit the next one. Now if I press A, it knocks me out of the menu, so if you see that happening to me, it's just me trying to go faster than the game will allow. Yeah. And we'll drink some water. If you overeat, by the way, if you eat too much food at once, you can actually make yourself sick and take damage, so don't do that. But now with the scanner, we can do lots of cool stuff. Ooh, it's getting nighttime. Oh, man. There's these little birds that were flying around our pod earlier. And there's some still just kind of hanging out. So, let's see. Where shall we go next? Well, we have fins and an oxygen tank now, so we can move a little bit better. Let's grab some more metal salvage. I know exactly where I want to go. Ooh, metal salvage. So, a huge thing that I've noticed like immediately after loading this up in the full version, one of the biggest issues that the Xbox version had before was just bad performance. So the frame rate was really, really skippy. The world was full of holes. Like, you could literally swim faster than the world could load, and then sometimes you get stuck in the terrain. You'd have to pull up the console to warp forward and get yourself out, and it was really bad. Now I can actually see. You can see, I mean, it's dark, so you can't see that far, but in terms of what's loaded around me, it's all loaded. Like, the terrain is there. The resource pop-in is still kind of an issue, as you can see with some things. The resource and, like, the grass and all that stuff still kind of pops in a little bit, but at least the terrain and big stuff is loaded, like, way out. So, there you go. See, you can see way over there. Way over there, especially compared to the previous version. So that is kind of why, Subnautica players on Xbox are so excited for this, because we can like see around the world now, and we don't have to get stuck in terrain, and it's wonderful, and our frame rate is smooth, so we can do this and not like skip around 8,000 times. It's a really massive improvement. And, okay, so, here we go. Let's see. We can scan the beacon here. And then so we have overall progress of the blueprint, 1 out of 2. So if we scan another beacon fragment, here we go. Now we can make beacons to mark important locations. Here's a grav trap. This is a neat little thing. It helps you catch fish if you're kind of like me and you're not so good at it. I don't ever use the grav trap because there's another good way of catching fish that we'll get a little bit later on. But it is useful. I'll probably use it at least once just to show it off. But
30 seconds.
And your PDA will be kind enough to warn you when you're getting a little low on oxygen, which is important to keep in mind if you're going on a little adventure. So yeah, Aurora looks very beautiful, but sad also, being destroyed over there. Now I'm gonna kind of, should I? I have an option to do something right now if I wanted to, and kind of break the flow of the story just a little bit. Yeah, I really, I don't know. Should I do it? Should I do it? I don't know, man. I think I should, because I really want to want to see how far I can get here in just a relatively short amount of time. Let's see here. I gotta be looking around for white boxes, basically. And those shall contain what I seek. Not seeing any yet. You'll know it when you see it. They stick out like a sore thumb. So I could cut the creep vine with my knife that I have now and get another type of resource from the creep vine that will be useful later. Aha! Okay, here we go. So stalker teeth. We are going to need these. There's a white box there, but I need to go up for oxygen. Stalker tooth. So those are going to be very, very important later on for crafting some more advanced things, and this is where the trait of the stalkers I mentioned earlier, that they like to grab metal and stuff, this is where that becomes important. If they grab metal salvage, like that one just did, they have a chance to drop a tooth like this, and you're gonna need these. Ah! So, it's a little risky, because you gotta be around the stalkers and just kind of wait for them to drop a tooth, but it is one of the very useful resources. That is a mobile vehicle bay. And we got our first fragment of it, which is great. Ow! So, I'm going to grab stalker teeth as I see them. As I see stalker teeth, I will grab them, because I'm going to want them later. And I don't want to have to come out and get them when I need them. I just want to have them on hand, especially since I'm here, like in the area with the stalkers. I might as well grab the stalker teeth. So this is a big part of the game here, is just going around trying to find blueprints that you need to allow yourself to explore even more effectively. And so those white boxes, you're going to be looking out for those. They have a single open side, and that is where you can take a look inside and see if... Oop, there's a white box down there. See what is inside and what kind of blueprint is in there that may be useful to you. Now, once you get past 100 meters in depth, something very important happens. Your oxygen starts to go down even faster. Ooh, laser cutter fragment. I have not seen laser cutter fragments over here before. But then again, this is not usually where I go to find them. I have another spot that I go for the laser cutter fragments. But I'll take them now. This is another one of those things that we're going to want to have on hand as soon as possible. Stupid little biters.
This biome supports extensive biome diversity and connects to a number of small cave networks.
Okay, wow, we already have the laser cutter done. That's even better than I would have expected us to be able to do here. So our life pod is that way. Yeah, okay, wow. We just found another biome that is similar to... Well, it's the same kind of biome that I usually find these parts in, but I usually go that way to find them. Like over literally that direction. But this is the same biome, it's just in a different spot. Now that's cool, but those are not what I'm looking for. I'm actually looking for something else in particular, and I know there are more fragments down there to get, but we will have access to those in you know, very, very frequent amounts later. Aha! This is what I wanted to find, the Sea Glide. The Sea Glide is incredibly, incredibly important. That should be 1 out of 2. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Oh, mobile vehicle bay. There we go. That's 2 out of 3 on that. And so the Sea Glide is basically a little tiny...
This planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
And aha, this is what else I was trying to find. So the Sea Glide is a little personal propulsion type thing. It has basically a propeller on it, and you hold onto it and it pulls you along. So there's the Sea Glide. We're going to be using that a lot, and that's why I wanted it. Oh, oxygen. Yeah. Thank you, PDA, for keeping me alive. Alright. Now, there are other life pods that ejected. You were not the only one that got away from the ship, but as you can see, this pod, well, something got into it, and I don't see anyone around, so it looks like they are not doing so good. Now, these PDAs that we find, I will try to listen to, because they do have some nice voice acting that was not there before. So, let's see. Environmental scan, Aurora survivors, Life Pod 3 crew log. So let's listen to this.
You really think it'll carry 2 of us?
Your regular Sea Glide tows a mass of 80 kilograms at over 30 kilometers an hour. The power cellar rigged to this one should double that.
You think there's something out there that's faster?
I'm sure. And that's assuming it doesn't overload 3 meters from the life pod.
You're calm about this?
I'm seeing the engineering problem. If I stop seeing the maths, I'll be terrified.
So, the little data box that you saw me open there, that is another way to get blueprints. And sometimes, that's actually where you get some of the best blueprints, usually. There are some really simple ones like the compass, but that is, that's where you're going to be finding some of the very, very nice blueprints. Whoa, wow, you can really, jump out of the water here. I didn't notice that when I was playing before. Excuse me. So, yeah, now I just want the last mobile vehicle bay fragment. Ah, Stalker, where are you? There you are. Leave me alone, you jerk. So one way to get them off your tail is if you actually have metal salvage, like I do, but I don't have it on my hotbar. You can put metal salvage on your hotbar, and if you go over to it, you can actually press right trigger to drop it. So if he's going to come after me, I'll try to taunt him a little bit. Come here, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, you know you want to. Looks like he's going after something else. He's going for another piece of salvage, maybe. Basically, you can drop... Oh, hello. You can drop the salvage and give it to him, and he'll stop chasing you. And he might also break off a tooth, which is one way to farm Stalker teeth. Just have them chase you, have a couple of scrap metal in your inventory, and just hand feed them metal, basically, and they'll start dropping teeth, which is very useful. Oh, there's a mobile vehicle bay fragment in there, but I need air. Ah-ha. Get up. There we go. Okay. Well, anyways, Oh! There he is. So we can drop this for him, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Take it. Take the metal. Oh, whatever. There you go. Nope, that one just despawned. Alright, well, anyways. There's the box I want. One-handed. One-handed while I scratch my ear. There we go. Aha. This should finish up the mobile vehicle bay. Yes, good. Very good. Very, very good. So, I'm going to actually grab some scrap metal here, because I want to have metal on hand. This one is being weird. What? Oh, there it is. I guess he was, like, the game thought he was holding it, but he, like, the animation wasn't working. So there's still some bugs, but it's, trust me, if you haven't played the Xbox version prior to its full release, you have no idea what kind of state the game was in before. It wasn't unplayable, but it wasn't, I won't even say it wasn't fun, because the game is still fun. The game is just really good. But it was certainly harder to enjoy the way it was before. So everything is much, much better now. Still a few bugs, but I mean, every game has bugs. So also, it's important to note this is Unknown World's first attempt at a console game, so that's why it's releasing almost a year after the Steam version. And they had to partner with, I believe it was Panic Button Games, and I think they even got a little help from Gearbox, maybe? So they had to get some outside help to get this console version polished and optimized properly. Optimized is the word I was looking for. But, I mean, end result, I'm very happy with it. The graphics, and this is something cool too, not only is the game running better, but the game actually looks better than it did in the previous version. So the graphics are better and the game runs better. That's quite an accomplishment. Noteworthy accomplishment there. So the resource pop-in is something that I hope they're looking into. Ah! Nope. 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 Because it does make it a little hard to find things. But I would rather have resource pop-in than, you know, world and terrain pop-in. We'll get to an example later on here, probably pretty soon, actually, where the resource pop-in is much less of an issue, and the terrain lack of pop-in that we have now is so awesome. I had a really fantastic moment when I was playing on the other save that I made last night, and it was really great to be able to look around and see the terrain so much. And we'll be back over there for the Let's Play here pretty shortly. We'll be ready to move out pretty soon, I think. So let's actually... So at any point you can stop and take a look at your blueprints. So with the Stalker Tooth we can make enameled glass, which is a hardened glass that will have some applications later. Let's see, we got all of our different kinds of fish here. There's the compass, and we got an air bladder. This is like if you need to get up to the surface quick for air, this is the way to do it. We've got a laser cutter, which is awesome. I don't usually have the laser cutter by now. We need oxygen. And let's get up on the surface, and then we'll continue looking through here. So the Seagull Eye, we're going to need battery, lubricant, that's why I made lubricant earlier, copper wire and titanium, very easy, mobile vehicle bay, titanium ingot, lubricant and power cell, and let's see, the grav trap, copper ore, titanium and battery. Grav trap is a little more costly than I want it to be right now. We got to conserve our resources here to an extent for now, because we don't have much. So I need to not... We'll show off the grav trap eventually, but right now we have bigger priorities, bigger fish to fry, so to speak. And maybe literally. We're probably going to try and find a few bladder fish and make some water, because we're getting a little thirsty. But I will show you another solution to the water issue. If you're really having a hard time finding or catching bladder fish, there is another way to make water that does not require anything that runs away from you. So the alternative to bladderfish is a bit of salt and a table, well, not a table coral sample, a normal coral sample, which I guess I can't get from that. Where's the coral tube? There's a coral tube. So table coral is the red coral. The regular coral samples are these ones, and you just go up to it with your knife and smack it, and there you go. So we have a bit of salt right there, and we have a coral tube sample. Those are what you need to make water, and they, well, you make water kind of indirectly, I should say. You don't just make the water, you gotta make something to make the water, and we'll see what that is here shortly. Once we get back to the life pod, I'm gonna need, let's see, I'm gonna need some acid mushrooms. When deciding what to drop titanium. It's super common, you can find it everywhere. So now I have enough acid mushrooms to make a battery. That is very good. Also, I have, what, 20 titanium worth of scrap metal in my inventory. I don't think titanium is going to be a problem. There's some more scrap metal right there, and there's plenty around, so yes, metal is easy to find pretty much everywhere. Got a new radio message.
This is Lifepod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
So that
Location uploaded to PDA.
That was Lifepod 3. That's the Lifepod we went to and scanned the rest of our sea glide fragments. They must have sent out that distress call before we got over there, and it just didn't arrive here until more recently, but by the time we got there, they were already gone. So anyways, we can make a titanium ingot out of 10 titanium, like so. And now I will mention what I was talking about with your water solution. So with salt and coral tube samples, you can make bleach. And with bleach,
Essential chemical used for cleaning wounds and purifying water.
purifying water. So if we go to sustenance, we go to water. Look at this. We can make 2 disinfected water with 1 bleach. Just like this.
Preparing the day's water ration ahead of time will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death. The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
So the disinfected water is worth 30 water, and the filtered water that you get from Bladder Fish is worth 20 water. Now the titanium ingot, and with some other things here, we are going to try to make a bit. We're going to try to make a couple of things. First of all, I want to focus on making a sea glide, which is down in the bottom section, but I want to get rid of these yellow arrows. This is a compass down there. Laser cutter will be a little bit later. Ooh, copper wire, okay. So we're going to use 2 copper ore to make a copper wire up in the electronics section. There we go. Back to deployables. There is the sea glide. Just like that.
The sea glide will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
So you can kind of see it is a little tiny, basically it's a handheld propeller that pushes you around. Now you have a little like sonar scan here that shows you a 3D map of where you are in relation to the ground and what the ground terrain looks like around you. So you can see there's this trench in front of us, which is reflected on the map. Now generally, I don't use the map because it's kind of in the way. So if you press right trigger a couple times, you can toggle what is happening. You also have a light on the front. So you can have light and map, or just light, or just map, or neither. So you can just have them both off like this. I usually like to run with the light, like so. But anyways, there's that. Now, what else? We want to build the mobile vehicle bay. Lubricant and power cell. Okay, power cell is going to be 2 batteries. What does that sound? I don't know. It's gone now. So with the sea glide, you can get around much faster. Very, very useful. Now, I'm kind of running along this big green thing here. This is actually a gigantic coral tube down here. Now, what's fun about this is that in this coral tube, there are crash fish. So there's one, and there's one. Now with your sea glide, as long as you're moving a straight line away from them, you're actually faster than them. So just straight line, beeline away from them, and you can actually outrun these little buggers here, the crash fish. So let's see, I'm looking for limestone deposits, of which there should be plenty. But they don't seem to be spawning right now. Whoop, whoop. Okay, there's some over here. There should be some back there too, but oh well. I need copper. That's why I want to be down here. I'm gonna need some glass shortly. So let's grab some quartz. 2 quartz, make 1 glass. There's another little guy coming after me. There we go. And like I said, they don't turn very well, and you are faster than they are with the Sea Glide. Put those 2 things together, they're surprisingly easy to dodge. So we're going to get that one out of his hole, and this one, just so that they are dealt with and not, you know, exploding in our faces. There's another quartz. There's another quartz. And I thought I saw some limestone in here. There's one. Titanium. I bet there's more in here, but I gotta find it. It does tend to blend in with the ground behind it and around it. Okay, wow. Okay, no more limestone there for me, I guess. Let's head this way. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky, or maybe we won't. Okay, fine. We'll go find our freaking copper somewhere else, huh? Actually, next to our life pod, there is a cave over here that we can use. Right here. This is not a massive cave. It is a cave. There's a crash fish. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah! So there's these rocks that are kind of in the way. You do have a means to move them. We will show that off later. What time are we at? About... Ooh, okay. Need to get moving here. So, I had a specific goal in mind that I wanted to reach before the end of the first episode. And if I hurry, I can still do it. Let's play this message here.
This is Ozzy from the cafeteria. What the hell, guys? They didn't warn us this might happen. Our pod was almost crushed by the Seamoth Bay on the way down. Now we're hanging on the edge of a cave system, and this grim-looking snake thing's trying to eat through the hull. Come get us already.
Signal location uploaded.
That is exactly the broadcast I wanted to hear. So, why did I want to hear that one? Well, because that one means we have access to some very nice stuff now. Let's see. Let's make this quartz into glass real quick up here. And I think I'll actually go ahead and make another titanium ingot because we're going to need it eventually. Actually, we're going to need it pretty soon. So I'll make this now. You saw I just made an extra battery. That will have repercussions later. And I could make another titanium ingot, but I don't think I'll need that many. So copper away, glass away, titanium ingots, and the stalker teeth. I want to save them for later. And then as much of the titanium as we can fit in our little storage chest back here. Now, there's one more thing we need before we are ready to go out to Life Pod 17 over there. We are going to need a piece of equipment called a Rebreather. Now, the Rebreather, I don't know if I think I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know how detailed I was. Basically, if you get past 100 meters in depth, your oxygen efficiency starts going down. So it might say that you have 75 seconds of oxygen, but at that point...
In the local cave systems, sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool. Silver-based wire kits are an essential component of many habitat modules.
So the sulfur that she was talking about there is the cave sulfur you get from the crash fish, and the silver is in reference to the silver that I picked up from the sandstone. So once you get past 100 meters in depth, your oxygen efficiency goes way down, and it actually makes you consume oxygen faster, but the number doesn't change to reflect that. So right here, our number is directly the number of seconds that we have left of oxygen left to breathe, but past 100 meters, it's just kind of a rough guess. Or like, it just is sort of a ballpark, like, this is how much oxygen you have. It's just a number at that point. Sort of, in a way, unitless. And we should be seeing a bunch of resources in this hole, which you can see there's a bit of lava down there. But the resource poppin' is haunting me again. Come on, resources. Where are you? I know you're here. Please. I need some silver. There should be some more sandstone outcrops right here. Please. I know. So if you get too close to this vent while it's venting, it will actually burn you and do a little bit of damage, so try not to be right in the middle of the plume when that happens. You should be seeing a bunch of materials in here, but I'm not seeing them, which is odd. Up. Yep, don't want to get in the middle of that. So let's try to head a little further down. You can see it's hot down here. I'm taking a little bit of damage, but as I get away from the vent, everything's fine now. Oh boy. Crash fish.
A common complication for cave divers is loss of orientation.
Brain coral. Thank you. So, brain coral occasionally puts out little bubbles. They give you 10 oxygen per bubble, and as you can hear, oh boy, there are crash fish in here. Now, why am I trying to go around and underneath these things? These are drooping stingers. Oh my god, there's a ton of them in here. Those are drooping stingers. They hurt you and poison you if you touch them, so don't touch them. They're bad. Bad news bears. And in fact, if I can get a chance to without being attacked for a second, I'll scan one for you, because they are actually pretty interesting, and it's good to know what they do. So, there you go. Assessment avoid. Yes, they hurt. They are basically stationary jellyfish is one way to think of them. They have nematocysts just like jellyfish do. So don't get too close to those. And I'm gonna take a little bit of damage from the fire, but I'm okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to find silver somewhere else, since those sandstone outcrops are not showing up like I need them to. Thankfully, there are sandstone outcrops in a few different places. We can find some in there, but they're less common than if we were to go out this direction and find that biome right there. That is the biome we want. There are sandstone outcrops just kind of littered around the place. So, in order to make the Rebreather, we need 2 silver for a wiring kit, and we need some fiber mesh, which we make from creepvine samples. Not the seed clusters, but samples. So this is weird. The resources do not appear to be popping in like at all, which is strange. And I might have to reload the game, which I will cut out. I won't make you guys watch the loading time a second time. But it is strange. I did not run into that when I was playing on my other save file during the full release version, but a little bug. Okay. Well, anyways, here's something I wanted to demonstrate right now that it's daytime. Look how far I can see. Look at, like, the world is all loaded and stuff. It's nice. I can see around big stuff, important stuff, like this wreckage here. I can see it even from up here. Just a ridiculously massive improvement.
Degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
A huge improvement over what it was. And I'm thinking I'm gonna reload the game real quick just to see if that fixes my resource pop-in issue, because nothing is spawning. So let me pause the recording here and I will fix the game. Hopefully. So we're gonna save and I'll be right back. Well, I'm back, and I've reloaded the game, and I've restarted the game on my Xbox, and I can't seem to find any sandstone. Well, there's one, geez. Well, anyways, the spots I was trying to check where I know that there is some, it wasn't coming back, so I don't know. But I went somewhere else, and I happened to find a Seamoth fragment, which is cool. We'll see the Seamoth fairly soon, so I've just found another sandstone outcrop there, but there should have been a whole bunch where I was, and it just wasn't loading in for some reason. And even now, a lot of this stuff that is loading in here, like the quartz, like right before I started talking, this stuff was not here. So it's a bit weird. I didn't experience that on my other save file. Also, in the process of doing all this, my Sea Glide ran out of power, so that's why we have a spare battery. And we're gonna scan this. Whoa! We're gonna scan this real quick. Bioreactor.
Leading to an unknown environmental biome.
This is true, but this is not an area we want to go to yet, because we are at the area. Actually, we're pretty close to Life Pod 17, as you can see. That is pretty much at 100 meters, basically. almost exactly at 100 meters, and that is the point where we start becoming less efficient with our oxygen, so we need to be careful down here, keeping an eye on that. Now, the fire extinguisher, you may have noticed, this is one way to push yourself around a little bit, so that was not me holding the left stick, that was actually just me pushing myself around with the fire extinguisher, so that's one way to do it if you really want to get around that way, but the fire extinguisher is, of course, limited use, so another sandstone outcrop. Lead, we're going to need that. This is one of my favorite voice actors in the game. I just love the way his voice sounds. I think it's really, really cool. Excuse me, a little hiccup there. LifePod 17 crew log.
Ozzy's log. It's the day of the crash.
30 seconds.
I don't know what the heck is happening. I'm scared and I'm not going outside. There are shadows in the water under the hatch, but I can't tell if they're rocks or aliens. And there's weird-looking caves nearby. The Aurora was carrying everything needed to build the phase gate. Mobile vehicle bays, bioreactors, propulsion cannons. It had a cinema. There was a zero-G gym. My cafe. I don't understand how we're here now. I don't know why no one's coming for me.
Very good voice acting there, and also you get some story about why the Aurora was coming to this planet to begin with, so that is pretty cool. Now, the elephant in the room, or rather the wreck in the sea. There's this huge piece of wreckage here that you can go inside of, and you should go inside of eventually, to explore, but right now, we are not equipped for that. So you can see my oxygen is definitely going down significantly faster now, and I'm going to get up above that threshold real quick here. Now, all I'm looking for is one more Seamoth fragment. That's all I want. There's one there. Okay, now that we see one, we're going to head back up to the surface. We're going to dive back down, scan it. We're going to try to grab the other scanner room fragment that I saw down there as well. Scanner room is very, very useful. Helps you find resources and other things nearby your base. And yes, you can build bases in this game. We will get to that probably pretty soon too.
You have exceeded your weekly exercise quotient by 500%. Data indicates that swimming was your favorite activity. Be sure to vary your routine for uniform muscle development.
Seamoth, and you can see I was being very careful not to go past 100 meters yet. I want to find something worth diving past 100 meters for, so I have a reason to go down here. Now something's chasing us, so I'm going to hide in the wreckage here. That is a sand shark. Oh, there it is. And they hide in the sand, and that's what they look like right there, except for the green spots. The green spots are something else, which we will be talking about as the story progresses, but I don't want to spoil anything. So, yeah, okay, I'm looking around for bioreactor fragments, because we are done with the Seamoth. And I'm not seeing any right here. So this is why I wanted to have a spare battery for the Sea Glide, because we need to be able to get around here effectively and quickly, so that we can get oxygen if we need to, like so. And yeah, that's why I was really holding off on I was trying not to use the Sea Glide whenever I could avoid using it, and also why I brought a spare battery. Now, the other thing we're going to need to make the Rebreather, to make this deep water exploration a little bit easier, is a little bit of creepvine samples. So we'll approach a creepvine, any creepvine, with your knife and cut it, and you get creepvine samples. You're going to need 2 of those to make a fiber mesh, which I need 1 of to make the Rebreather. I'm also going to grab a couple of those, and if I have space, I would like, yes, I would like, to grab 2 more creepvine samples. As you can see, they're quite big. That way, I can, oh gosh, everything's going off at once. That way I can make a second fiber mesh, just because I'm going to need it later. And I know that, so. What else am I going to need? I'm going to need a bunch of copper for batteries, so that I can make power cells. I think I'm going to need 2 power cells. But there's a nice trick you can do with the power cells. You don't actually need full batteries to make the power cells. You can just make the power cells with empty batteries, and that still works perfectly fine. And you don't get an empty power cell, you actually get a fully charged power cell, even if you use 2 empty batteries.
Slavery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read? Over. Nothing but vacuum. These Altera ships. They run low on engine grease, send an SOS, you offer to help, they don't pick up. Aurora, I'm out on the far side of the system. It's gonna take more than a week to reach your position. You still need our assistance. Over. I'll try them again tomorrow. Damn charter's gonna have us blowing our credits running errands for Altera. See what the long-range scans pick up in the meantime.
Alright. So I just scanned these little birds, and as the PDA, you could read it there, the database entry said, indicates dry land nearby, so that's good. Ooh, I need, hey, Boomerang, come back. I need, not Boomerang, Bladder Fish. I need water. And I'll grab a peeper or two, if I can. Peepers can be a little fast. If they decide that they want to run away from you, they will outrun you for a little bit, until they get tired. Up. Come on, come on. There we go. So, when the graph trap said that it wanted copper wire and stuff, now you see why I was like a little hesitant to use copper wire on something like that, because copper wire is very, very valuable. It's an extremely useful thing that we need, and copper is slightly annoying to find, just because you have to find enough limestone outcrops, many of which will just give you titanium. So yeah, copper can be slightly annoying to grind for, so if I can just get what I need for the essentials and call it good there, then that's what I will do. Let's make a couple of cooked peeper. Now, peeper are the very best fish food that you can cook up. As you can see here, 32 food. 5 water, but that's what bladderfish are for. Like so. And there we go. So now with my creep vine samples, let's see, I'm going to make a fiber mesh, and I'll make another one. I'm going to make a couple of lubricants, because we're going to need those. And I'm going to use my silver to make a wiring kit. And I'm going to use the silver and the wiring kit. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, Pathfinder tool. This is another cool thing. It puts out these little discs that have an arrow that point back to the last disc that was placed down. So if you're going through a really convoluted wreck and you're worried about getting lost, or if you're going through a cave and you don't want to get lost, you can place these discs wherever you want, as frequently or as infrequently as you want, and help you find your way out of the cave. So that is pretty useful. But what we're really here for is the... Where is it? Where is it? Do I not have it available to me yet? I don't have it available to me yet. What? What? I ain't got no rebreather, man. I can't make the rebreather. What's up with that? Why can't I don't see it. Oh, you know what? I'm probably going to make the high oxygen, or high capacity oxygen tank first. Which needs silver, which I don't have anymore because I just used it. Okay, well, anyways. Next priority then. Mobile vehicle bay. Power cell, titanium ingot. Okay. We have the titanium ingot. We have lube, obviously. And, oh, I need to make another lubricant with my other seed cluster. There we go. And, see, power cell. I have one battery there. I could yank the battery out of this guy. Let's do that. Let's yank the battery out of this guy, like so. And then we will grab a silicone rubber. We'll actually grab another copper to make another battery here in a minute. But first, let's make a power cell. See, I used an empty battery and a partially empty battery, and I made a, wait for it, full charge power cell. Piece of cake. Now with that, we can make a mobile vehicle bay. Ta-da! Gonna need, let's see, more silver, more copper. Silver for the what's-her-majigget, and copper for batteries. Whoopsies, for more power cells and stuff, and just batteries in general yet to have on hand. Now, with the mobile vehicle bay, it is pretty much what it sounds like. You can carry this thing around to wherever you want. You deploy it. Let me get slightly deeper water. You deploy it in front of you. It floats up to the top. And now, check it out. When you stand on it, you have these little drone guys that can, they're basically like flying fabricators, and you tell them to make a vehicle, like the Seamoth, and they will go and do it. So I just need 2 glass, which I think I actually made earlier in preparation for this. Titanium ingot, got it. Power cell is going to be the hard part because I only have 2 copper. I have 2 copper, so I can make a power cell real quick. Let's grab all of those. You know what? We can actually make a Seamoth right now, and that is something I wanted to accomplish before the end of the episode. First episode, Seamoth, baby. Less than an hour. Haha. Well, less than an hour of gameplay. 2 glass, and we're going to need our other titanium ingot that we made before. Like so. Let's make 2 batteries. And then a power cell. Oops, silicone rubber. I forgot about that. Let's grab that. And boom, 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 and power cell. And I think that is all we need for the Seamoth. Yes, sir, we can make a Seamoth. And then next time, we'll focus on making a high-capacity oxygen tank and a rebreather to make exploration just that much easier. And wait for it. So you climb up on this vehicle bay. Vehicle's Seamoth.
The Seamoth is a fast, safe mode of transport, but remember that swimming is good for your glutes and endorphin levels.
Ta-da! There's the Seamoth. Look at that. It's so cool. It's your own little personal submarine that you can actually sit inside of. And it uses a power cell, which is down here. So if you ever run out of power and you need to swap out the power cell, you can do that right here. Kind of the same way that I can swap out batteries with my other equipment. So that's the Seamoth. And the side.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
And it's a little personal submarine, which is very, very cool. It has lights you can turn on and off, and it has several upgrades that you can plug in to this little slot on the side here as well. So that is the Seamoth. Let's get this last audio log, and then we will call it good for the first episode of Subnautica, full release on the Xbox One.
This is Officer Keen in Lightpod 19. The captain is gone. I have assumed command. The last thing the captain did was give me coordinates for dry land. We regroup 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. Stay together and good luck. This message will now repeat.
Rendezvous coordinates corrupted. Transmission origin coordinates downloaded. Signal location uploaded to PDA.
And that is where Second Officer Keen last broadcast from. Now, you can see that it says LifePod 19, 300 meters. It is 300 meters down. The Seamoth and all the vehicles in this game can only go so deep before they have a crush depth. They'll start taking damage over time. In the top, you see that number. It's the yellow number. If we go below 200 meters, this thing will start to crack and bust. And if we stay below 200 meters long enough, it will actually explode with us inside. So that's bad. You can upgrade the depth, but for now, we will have to leave all that stuff till next time. So, thank you very much for watching this first episode of Subnautica in its full release on the Xbox One. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always on this channel, I hope to see you all back for the next one.